All right, what did we just watch this morning between Coco Gauff, who wins her second major and first French Open as she defeats Arena Sabalenka in a heartbreaker for Sabalenka and just a crazy, crazy match overall. A lot of things were said after it. We're going to get into it and break down kind of what happened in this match. This is the slice presented by Betway. Let's do it. All right, that was one of the crazier matches I think you'll ever see in a major final for sure. Coco Gauff though gets it done, and you love to see it. Couldn't be a nicer girl, and absolute weapon. Her second major. She's a multiple Grand Slam champion now, and yeah, just incredible like back and forth match. Uh, as has been said by other people, definitely not the highest level, but both of them are incredible athletes, and 70 unforced errors for Arena Sabalenka is absolutely crazy. So we're going to get into the stats and talk about, like I said, what was said, and just kind of try to break it down. But if you're new here, welcome to the slice. Thanks for subscribing. Don't mind me. I've got some allergies going on because I was golfing today where I also got some sun, clearly. But out there in the sports world, if you're in there, you got to, and you want to bet the responsible way, you should be using Betway, our sponsor, our presenting sponsor, and our loyal partner. Their app is amazing. It showed Sabalenka as the odds favorite to win before the match, but turned out not to be true. So that's why you play the game. And also shout out to Go Sport, the best tennis bags in the world. Last 2 days to get 10% off using the code below. If you want to upgrade your tennis bag, now's the time to do it. Best tennis bags in the game. So where do we start? The match was early, looked like Sabalenka was in control, as she was, and then she lost control, won it in the tiebreaker, and then Coco Gauff takes over and wins. Not dominantly because she was up a break, lost it. Breaks were changing hands like crazy, but she gets it done 6-2, 6-4 after Sabalenka makes 70 unforced errors, and Coco Gauff essentially just outlasts her with consistency to get over the finish line. So we're going to look at the stats here and we'll pull those up now. 2 hours, 38 minutes. So a long 3-set match. Let's just see some of the main kind of shocking stats that you'll kind of see from this match. Only 48% first serve wins for Sabalenka. So that's got to have a large part to do with the 70 unforced errors she made. So partly probably decent returning from Coco Gauff, but also when you make that many errors, like there's just not that many points in the match. So the percentage winning on your serve is going to be lower on both accounts. Max speed serve 199 for Coco, massive, bigger than Sabalenka, even though the average serve speed was bigger for Sabalenka on both. Maybe the craziest stat of them all, I would say, 15 breaks in the match. Here's the craziest stat: 15 breaks in the match, breaks to serve, and neither player converted more than 50% of their break point chances. So there was how many break points converted? 13, 21. So there was 34 break point chances in the match. Um, with 15 breaks. So that's absolutely crazy. And then, as you can see here, 37 winners for Sabalenka, 70 unforced errors, 30 winners for Coco, only 33 unforced, 30 winners, 30 unforced errors. So dead even for Coco, way on the error side for Arina Sabalenka. So that is just, that's why I think you saw Sabalenka like this after the match, obviously in pain. And what she said after the match was that it wasn't like Coco beat her because Coco was playing so good, but more like because Arena was just making so many mistakes. she said it was the worst final she's ever played, and that's probably true. But I think those comments could be taken that she wasn't giving her opponent enough credit. But if I made 70 on force in a final, that's kind of what you're thinking as a pro. You're like, well, if I just made like half those, I'm probably winning that match. But in reality, she wasn't that close to winning that match because she lost the second set 6-2, and then she lost 6-4. So it's not like she was right there, but every time she tried to get after the first set, she just couldn't rely on any of her shots. And yeah, really it was like Coco and Arina Sabalenka versus Arina Sabalenka. So we'll get to Coco in a minute because it's obviously we want to talk about the champion. But the confusing thing for Sabalenka this year is she's had a great year. Like she's the number one player in the world, and that margin has like been continuing to get bigger. Like she's had a great year. But she's had some big losses in big finals. She lost in the Australian Open final to Madison Keys. Obviously, that was huge for Maddie Keys, but a loss for Arina Sabalenka. She couldn't follow up the U.S. Open win, and then she had in Indian Wells. She lost to Mira Andreeva, and that was another surprising final loss for her. But then she won in Miami, and then she came to the clay, and lost in the final of Stuttgart to Ostapenko. And then she won in the final of Madrid over Coco Gauff. And then she comes to the French and loses in the final to Coco after beating Swiatek, after beating Zheng, after beating Anisimova. So yeah, I think the moral of the story for Sabalenka is if you're going to be at the top consistently and put yourself in the position to win these big titles almost every single tournament, you're going to have losses. Look at the big three. They all had a ton of losses to their biggest rivals in the biggest matches. So obviously the way this one went down for Sabalenka is going to make her cringe whenever she thinks about it. So she'll still have to wait for her first non-hardcourt major title. But what's around the corner? Wimbledon, which is where I thought she would actually get it done for the first time. So Coco on the clay, her athleticism just absolutely shines. She's the fastest player on the women's tour. She was able to maybe make Sabalenka go for more than she wanted to because of her defense and how good it was, and her forehand's been great, and all the parts of her game that she needed to improve on, she has, and she's so dynamic on the clay. Was able to come from behind today after a set down to win, and that shows her strength and her confidence in her game. And really impressive to see just her ability to stay in it, because like you get a break, you give up a break, you get broken. How many times does she get broken? 6 times. That's a lot of times, but didn't freak out, kept her emotion, like literally won the mental battle with Sabalenka today, and is a super deserved champion. So she gets her second major, and puts the American tennis fans over the edge. Like they are stoked, and Sabalenka so far this year has been helping out the American women's tennis, losing in the final of the Australian and the French Opens. But Coco, if you look back at her year, Italian Open, she lost in the final in Rome, lost in the final in Madrid, lost in the quarterfinals in Stuttgart, but she had a great clay swing there. The finals of 2 Masters 1000s leading up to the French Open, gets it done on the biggest stage when it matters. So she had a crazy run, beats Sabalenka, beats Boisson, beats Keys, beats Alexandrova, beats Buchova, beats Valentova. So she's the number 2 player in the world, and that is absolutely deserved. She lost in the quarterfinal at the Australian Open to Badoza. But shows now, I think, from this clay swing that clay is going to be one of her surfaces going forward that I think she might have her biggest results at, win more majors at, and really the sky's the limit. So that is the end of the clay swing for the women. So I think Wimbledon is going to be super interesting for the women. Will Sabalenka get her revenge and get another major? Because you just feel like she's been there at every tournament and not getting it. But this year, at the majors, but So I thought, with her game, if she can serve well, if she can play cleaner, she will definitely be the favorite at Wimbledon. But Coco, 2 majors now, multiple major champion. Rybakina, Swiatek, could she play in the grass? Probably not, but she's got 5 majors. So we're going to see. It's going to be interesting. But Coco Gauff is your 2025 French Open champion, and what a deserving one at that. So thanks if you're just following the WTA, thanks for checking in on the slice. We'll see you tomorrow for the men's final, Carlos Alcaraz versus Jannik Sinner. I cannot wait. It's going to be another good one. So let's see what happens. We'll see you then.